Lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Lai, lai, lai. Lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai. 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. The source needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, no services. But I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love HaShekhinah is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love HaShekhinah is to love the world that HaShekhinah has created and to work to perfect it. To love the source is to love dreams of peace and joy that illuminate all of us and to bring that vision to life. 128, paragraph 3. Shabbat Shalom. We welcome one another and receive the Sabbath in prayer, in song, lifting our voices and directing our kavanah, our intention. Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Yedid נפש אב הרחמן, משוך עבדך אל רצונך, משוך עבדך יא לה לה לי 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 אל רצונך, ירוץ עבדך כמו אייל, ישתחווה יא לה לי אל מול הדרך. 129. תודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים, תודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. מי זאת עולה מן המדבר, מי זאת עולה, מי זאת עולה מן המדבר, מי זאת עולה. תודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים, תודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. מכותרת מור, מור ולבונה, מור ולבונה, מכותרת מור, מור ולבונה, מור ולבונה. תודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים, תודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. יא לה 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 לי, לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Each and every Shabbat, we dedicate ourselves during this time of pandemic, this time of extraordinary adversity and challenge, of stress, and of a nation both burdened and coming together, as we recognize the angels in our midst, the essential workers who have put our safety, our care, our healing in front of their own safety. These essential workers, educators, nurses, doctors, frontline responders and workers, for all of those names that you have shared with me, we hold in our hearts at this moment. If not for their care, if not for their heroism, if not for their presence, we and our loved ones would not be here. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתחילה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם ניסוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה. תחילה לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. Paragraph 5. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגילה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצוהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. יה לי לה לי 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 לה לי לה לי לה לי, יה לי לה לי לה לי לה לי לה לי, לה לי לה לי לה לי לה לי לה לי לה לי, לה לי לה לי לה לי לה לי לה לי. Da dai da dai 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 da 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 dai. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la. 146. Lai lai, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch et Adonai. Ya la 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 la, Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai. le'olam va'ed. Lai, 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 lai. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. 155. Love the source with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gates. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for the source. I am Adonai, your source. I led you out of Egypt to become your one. I am Yud He Vav He, your one. Adonai Elohechem Emet. 159 Birkat Geula. Sing the song of people, joined in understanding and respect, the song of HaShekhinah's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Only when we have partnered with the divine in creating this vision can we hope to truly understand the words of the Micha Mocha sung by Miriam and Moses and the children of Israel at the shore of the sea. Yain lai lai la lai la lai la lai, yai lai 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 la 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 lai, yai la lai 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 la la lai, yai la lai lai la 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, nora tehilot osef ele. Malchutecha ra'u v'anecha, bokei ayam livnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze Eli anu ve'amru, Ze Eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai 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 la 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 la la lai. Lai la lai lai la 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 lai. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Yisrael. Page 161, and then moving over to the Hebrew text on 160. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. La 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 Hashkifenu Adonai Eloheinu Hashkifenu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chayim ufros aleinu sukat shelomecha hashkifenu Adonai Eloheinu hashkifenu L'shalom. Yai la 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 ya la 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 la. 164. With all of my breath, with all of my soul, I bring myself to Tfilat Amidah, opening my heart in prayer. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la Lai, lai. Praying Tfilat Amidah Belachash 164 through 180. Eli, Eli, Shelo Yigamer Leolam. 653. Hachol ve'hayam Rish Rush Shel Hamayim Berak HaShamayim Tfilat Ha'adam Hachol ve'hayam Rish Rush Shel Hamayim Berak HaShamayim Tfilat Ha'adam. O source HaShekhinah, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. holding a place of healing for members of our congregation who are challenged by serious illness, challenges of body and of spirit. We pray for their continued and complete healing. Amanda Batista, Susan Bosch, Jenny Bryant, Audrey Cohn, Barbara Cohn, Phoebe Cohn, Robert Cohn, Ruvain Ben Manya, Adele Corvin, Tyler Corvin, Louis Costella, Bob Davis, Yehuda Ben Leah V'chaim, John Gaudier, Joy Gross, Darren Jacobs, Judy Jacobs, Jacob Kerr, Seth Kerr, Andrea Klein, Mary Jane Klein, Lou Klein, Paula Markovitz, Joe Michaels, Moshe Yosef, Howard Pellet, Stephanie Payusko, Carla Friedman, Marilyn Rosen, Ellie Edelwatz, Tony Rosenstein, Robin Stone, John Valenti, Ellen Vogeloff, George Wells, Ben Wilder, Phyllis Wofield, Gretchen Zimmerman. As I hold our entire list for continued healing for all of those names that you have shared with me, I ask that each of you hold in your hearts the loved ones who need our prayer now, as we pray together in our prayer book. On page 371. Mi sheberach Avoteinu Mekor habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach Imotenu Mekor habracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. It happened in a little village far out in the countryside that there was a doctor and a cobbler, and they lived together in the same house. The doctor, she worked on one side of the house, and the cobbler on the other. The doctor healed people who came to her when they were sick, and The cobbler, as you can imagine, made shoes for people all over the countryside. Beautiful shoes, in fact. Whenever the cobbler would have a little bit of a break in his day, whenever he needed a break or just wanted a break, he would come into the doctor's side of the house while she was dealing with patients. He would sit ever so silently and watch. You know, he didn't understand most of what she was doing. She was a very amazing doctor. But every once in a while, a patient would come to her and she would say, I think that you should take some castor oil. She prescribed castor oil, and you know what? This the cobbler understood. It happened that the doctor died. And when the doctor died, the cobbler, well, he decided that he would practice in her stead. Yes, he kept making shoes, but he would also receive her patients whenever they would come. Now, that's wonderful, except the only thing he really understood was to prescribe castor oil. So, when someone came to her, no matter what their ailment, he gave them the same advice. Drink castor oil. A spoonful of castor oil, he would say. If someone had a headache, his advice was, drink castor oil. If somebody had a toothache, he would say, drink castor oil. And if someone came with a broken thumb or a broken leg, he would say, drink castor oil. That's what he did. You know, the funny part was, it always seemed to heal the patient. One day, in the center of the country, in the major city, the queen's daughter, who happened to be a brilliant doctor, became herself deathly ill. It was an unknown ailment that she had. A swelling grew inside her throat. The swelling just got bigger and bigger. The queen, she called all of the best doctors in the country. She called the best specialists that they should come and heal her daughter, the doctor, her daughter, the princess. In fact, the best doctors that came were all of the colleagues of the princess, but one after the other, it seemed that none of her colleagues, none of the other brilliant doctors could heal her. Time passed, and the boil in her throat got bigger and bigger and bigger. There was no cure that anyone could come up with. The news of the princess's ailment reached the distant towns and villages until it, of course, reached the house of the cobbler who was filling in for his friend, the doctor who had died. The cobbler, as soon as he heard about the prince's illness, he packed up a bottle of castor oil. He put that inside his little satchel that also had his tools for making shoes, and off he went to the queen's palace. When the cobbler arrived with his bag for making shoes and his bottle of castor oil, with his long beard, and he came to the gate of the queen's palace, the guard said, "What do you wish for here?" And the cobbler said, "I want to enter the palace." And the guard questioned him further, "What business do you have in the palace?" And the cobbler said, "I heard about the princess's illness, that she has a bubble in her throat. Since no doctor has come to heal her, I have come to heal her." The guard took a look at this man with his long beard, with his satchel filled with tools for making shoes, and with his bottle of castor oil, and the guard couldn't help himself. He laughed. You're not getting in this palace." But the cobbler turned to him and said, "What difference does it make to you how I look? I'm telling you that I can heal the princess. And if I say I can heal the princess, I will heal the princess." The guard couldn't get rid of him. So the guard went to the queen and said, "Queen, I'm so sorry to disturb you. There is a Jew at the gate of the palace, and he won't give up. He refuses to leave. He says that he can heal the princess." Well, the queen, she was quite skeptical. But on the other hand, her daughter, the brilliant doctor, the princess, was dying. And so the queen said, "Bring him in." And the cobbler came in with an audience to speak to the queen. And she said to him, "Tell me, whoever you are, I will give you a chance to heal the princess. But if you do not heal my daughter, then it will be off with your head." "I agree," said the cobbler. "I agree to the challenge. I agree to your terms." So the queen had the cobbler shown into the princess's chambers. When the cobbler entered the princess's chambers, he saw her, the doctor. She was lying in bed, poor thing, but her eyes were open. It was sad to see her. Her throat was wrapped in bandages. Her breathing was slow and difficult. She was suffering. The cobbler went to work right away. He went to his satchel. He opened his satchel. He took out the bottle of castor oil. He picked up a hammer and he wanted to take off the top. He began to hammer on the top, and the bottle shattered. Castor oil spilled all over the princess's chamber. When the cobbler went to go and clean it up, he took a step and his feet came up out from underneath him, and he fell onto the floor, and his beard began to swim inside the castor oil. Around and around and around went the cobbler until almost all of the castor oil had been absorbed into his beard. His beard was dripping with oil. The princess, lying in the bed, hardly able to breathe, but with her eyes open, saw this scene and began to laugh. She laughed and she laughed and she laughed, bellowing laughter from her stomach. She laughed so hard and so strong that the bubble, pop, instantly burst inside her neck. And miraculously, she was healed. There was great rejoicing in the palace. Everybody was so filled with joy, so filled with gratitude for the doctor princess's newfound health. And the doctor princess was also full of gratitude for this cobbler's care, but mostly for the joy that the cobbler brought that healed her. And the princess invited the cobbler to come into her medical clinic and open up a store for making shoes in the great city of the Queen's palace. And so it happened that once again, the cobbler shared a space with a doctor. This time, it was the princess who was the doctor who on this side of her clinic healed people. And on that side of her clinic, the cobbler made shoes for everyone in the neighborhood. He went back to what he knew best, creating shoes. And the rest of the story continues to unfold. Be happy, it's Adar today, the 25th of Adar. It is a time for lightening the load, the burdens that we've been carrying. It's a time for noticing that spring is on the way. The sun is filling our hearts, our homes. Be happy. It's Adar. Tomorrow morning, Minyan begins at 10 a.m. Next week, our regular weekly classes continue with Tuesday morning meditation and beginning Hebrew. And on Wednesday, Hebrew trope and conversational Hebrew. Brotherhood's monthly meeting is Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. New members are welcome. Sisterhood's monthly meeting is Thursday evening at 7 p.m. New members are welcome. Congregation Emmanuel of the Hudson Valley is proud to announce our upcoming partnership with The Braid, formerly Jewish Women's Theater, a theater company known for creating, producing, and preserving stories grounded in Jewish culture. The Matzo Ball Diaries will be performed live via Zoom on March 21st at 2 p.m. There will be an interactive Q&A with the performers, those who have created and those who are performing. Please go to our website and sign up for this wonderful opportunity to be indulged, to bring culture and laughter and joy into your homes. Passover 2021, March 27th and 28th. Honoring our tradition of including all who want to be part of a Seder, CEHV members and families will be opening their virtual Seder tables to include other members of the community looking to join a Seder. On the first night of Passover, we ask everyone to be part of this mitzvah. And the following day, Saturday, March 27th, our congregation, that's March 27th. On the following day, Sunday, March 28th, please join me and members of the congregation as we do a gentle hike on the Kingston Brickyard Rail Trail, a scenic, gentle hike and study along this new Kingston jewel For details on this and all of our programs, please turn to cehv.org and you will find a list of all of our programs. With spring and with the challenges of the pandemic, we are with our families who have sustained a recent loss. On this Shabbat, I ask that our prayers go out to Pam Atkins and Russell Karasik on the recent loss of Kenneth Atkins, Pam's father. I ask that our prayers go out to Kenneth's beautiful wife, Ruth, for healing and strength as she loses her best friend, her husband, Pam's father. Our prayers go out to Pam's mother, Ruth, for continued healing, wholeness, comfort, and peace. We are with Zoe, Kara, Max, and Jeff Greenberg on the loss of their beloved Ellen Aronson, with Farrell Brenner and Carol Levine Brenner on Farrell's cousin Matthew First. We are with Richard and Barbara Moskowitz on the untimely death of Eve Bonnie Moskowitz Pardo. We are with Karen Leader and John Roth on the untimely death of Karen's nephew, Dustin Leader. With the Rab Simon family on their losses this month of Michael Stewart Simon and Richard Rab, Cameron's father. For all of these recent losses, as well as those members of the congregation who are in their Shana of mourning, we are holding you. We are walking with you during this time. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full, but as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. For those who died in this season in years past, whose yard sites are being observed, Dana Appenzeller, remembered by Stephen Appenzeller, Raphael Bloom, Minnie Cohen, remembered by Rhoda Lohr, Sophie Forst Davis, Richard Del Belso, remembered by Arnie and Sharon Zappel, Arthur Forst, remembered by Ruth Wally, Selma Fox, remembered by Rhoda Lohr, Samuel Gelber, remembered by Samantha Michaels, Fanny Goodman, remembered by Debbie Kalish, Bernice Greenberg, remembered by Jeff Greenberg, Neil Hirsch, remembered by Stephen Hirsch, Leah Kaplan, remembered by Ann Murkoff, Nathan Kaplan, remembered by Ann Murkoff, Carol Kramer, Oscar London, Thelma Mermelstein, remembered by Susan Mermelstein, Lester Polliner, remembered by Lindsay Stern, Joanne Wilbur, remembered by Sharon Zappel, Edward A. Winston, remembered by Melanie Hall, Carol Weisner, remembered by Lisa Monashevsky, and David Zucker, Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Bi'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam ulalmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yit'ale v'yit'alal shmei d'kudusha barich hu. Le'ela min kol berachata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol b'nei Adam, ve'imru. Amen. Page 647. Ozi v'zimrat Yah. Vayehi li shua. My strength is my song to the Eternal One. With this song, I will find wholeness and peace. Ozi v'zimrat Yah vayehi li l'shua. 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 Yai lai lai la 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 la. Yai lai lai la la. Ya la la la. Lai lai la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kohodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher yitziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta im kol ha'amim v'shabbat kodeshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch Ata Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to the source for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, a wonderful Sabbath. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.